The Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves deep in the grind of an NFL season that has been defined as much by adversity as by competition. With aspirations of fighting their way into the postseason and possibly contending for the AFC North title, the franchise has been forced to confront a harsh reality. Progress in the NFL often comes at a cost, and that cost has manifested itself in the form of a seemingly endless stream of injuries. While every team must navigate injuries in the grueling environment of professional football, the Steelers have endured far more than their fair share this year, and the cumulative impact has been especially felt on the defensive side of the ball, where multiple starters and rotational pieces have been sidelined at different points of the season. As Pittsburgh prepares for its Week 15 showdown with the Miami Dolphins, a high-powered offensive juggernaut currently riding significant momentum, there is a modest but noticeable sense of optimism that the franchise might finally be turning a corner regarding health. Head coach Mike Tomlin, who has spent the better part of the last several months juggling personnel changes, injury updates, and constant lineup adjustments, offered the media a comprehensive overview of the team's current injury situation during his regular Tuesday press conference. While the list was long enough to resemble a medical report rather than a football-related update, Tomlin ultimately delivered a glimmer of hope that caught the attention of fans and analysts alike: the potential return of safety Kyle Duggar. Duggar, who missed the team's most recent contest against the Baltimore Ravens due to a hand injury, has been trending in the right direction, and Tomlin made it clear that his return is very much within reach. Kyle Duggar certainly's got a chance to come back from his hand injury, Tomlin explained to reporters, his tone suggesting cautious optimism rather than an outright guarantee. The possibility of reintroducing Duggar into the defensive rotation is significant, as the Steelers' secondary has been one of the most problematic and inconsistent units on the roster this season. Statistically, the Steelers' defense is operating well below the organization's typical standard. Pittsburgh currently ranks 28th in the NFL in total yards allowed per game, an alarming position for a franchise with a long and storied history of defensive excellence. Even more concerning is the team's performance in pass coverage. The Steelers are giving up an average of 244 passing yards per game, also 28th in the league, a figure that underscores the breakdowns in communication, technique, and personnel that have plagued their defensive backfield in recent weeks. While their struggles against the run have contributed to many of the defense's issues, their inconsistencies in stopping the pass have been equally damaging, often allowing opposing quarterbacks to dictate the pace of the game and sustain long, demoralizing drives. In contrast to the unit's overall decline, Kyle Duggar has emerged as one of the few dependable forces in Pittsburgh's secondary. Acquired to bring a mix of physicality, versatility, and playmaking ability, Duggar has made an immediate impact in his limited time on the field. In only 5 games with the Steelers, he has already accumulated 23 total tackles, showcasing his ability to fly downhill and assist in run support while also demonstrating the range and agility necessary to cover tight ends and running backs in open space. His contributions go beyond tackling. Duggar has also recorded 4 passes defended and 1 interception, illustrating a level of awareness and ball tracking ability that has been conspicuously absent among some of the team's backup defensive backs. With Duggar sidelined, the Steelers were forced to rely on Jabril Peppers and Chuck Clark, 2 experienced players who have moments of competence but lack Duggar's dynamic impact. The difference was palpable, as the defense continued to struggle with missed assignments, late rotations, and coverage breakdowns that ultimately placed additional strain on the team's pass rush and linebacking core. Simply put, Duggar's return would bring stability to a secondary that is desperately seeking it, and against the Miami Dolphins team known for exploiting defensive vulnerabilities with speed, precision, and creativity, the Steelers need every advantage they can get. Tomlin's briefing included additional positive developments, offering a rare silver lining amidst the steady stream of injury setbacks. One of the most notable updates involved star wide receiver DK Metcalf, who was hospitalized overnight following the Steelers' hard-fought victory over Baltimore. While the situation initially sparked concern across the fan base, early reports indicate that Metcalf is trending toward being able to play in Week 15, barring any unexpected complications. His presence is essential for an offense that has struggled at times to create explosive plays and consistently move the chains. Rookie defensive tackle Derek Harmon also received encouraging news as Tomlin confirmed the young lineman will return to practice this week. This development marks a significant step in Harmon's rehabilitation and brings hope that he could potentially rejoin the active roster in the near future. His return would provide much-needed depth for a defensive front that has been fighting to stay afloat amid injuries and fatigue. However, Tomlin was quick to balance the optimism with the reality of the current roster challenges. The injury report remains extensive and includes 3 players currently in concussion protocol, a situation that automatically limits their availability and complicates preparation for the upcoming matchup. Concussions, governed by league-mandated safety procedures, make it difficult to predict whether players will be cleared in time for Sunday or forced to miss additional time. Beyond those players, 3 additional defenders are expected to be limited early in the practice week. The coaching staff remains hopeful that these limitations are precautionary in nature, but until players take the field and demonstrate progress, there remains an element of uncertainty. Key rotational contributors across multiple position groups are dealing with various ailments, making the defensive game plan a moving target that must be continually revised. Adding to the complications is the status of wide receiver and special teams contributor Ben Skowronek. He has been one of the team's most dependable special teams performers throughout the season, but he too is dealing with injuries that place his availability in question. Given how frequently field position and special teams execution have influenced the Steelers' games this year, losing Skowronek, or even having him operate at less than full strength, could have meaningful consequences. The overarching challenge for Pittsburgh is not just the volume of injuries but the timing. The Steelers are entering a crucial stretch of the season, one in which playoff hopes can rise or collapse based on a handful of pivotal performances. The Miami Dolphins present one of the toughest upcoming matchups, possessing an offense loaded with speed, creativity, and elite-level production. To stand a chance, the Steelers will need as close to a fully healthy roster as possible. Tomlin acknowledged this reality, emphasizing the importance of rest, preparation, and strategic adaptation as the team moves forward. Ultimately, Pittsburgh is hoping that the combination of extra rest, careful rehabilitation, and a renewed sense of urgency will allow the injury-compromised players to regain enough health to take the field. With the stakes growing higher each week and the margin for error shrinking, the Steelers are fully aware that they must enter their Week 15 contest with all hands on deck. Whether this will be enough to overcome one of the league's most potent offenses remains to be seen, but the Steelers understand exactly what is required: resilience, recovery, and a return to form for several key players whose contributions could shape the outcome of their season. Leave your predictions for the Steelers' next challenges in the comments. Let's go all out against the Dolphins. Thanks for watching and see you soon.